WDHA's Reconnect with Rockers. I love Reconnect with Rockers when I get to reconnect with a friend. So when I get to know that I got, a buddy on, my buddy Marc Labelle from Dirty Honey, it's a great day for me. So thank you so much for giving me a little time today.
And for me too. Great to hear your voice and see your face. It's been a while, but yeah, always a pleasure to talk to you. No doubt.
I'm excited for you guys. You know what blows my mind the most? People don't realize that this is your debut record.
Yeah, it is, and it's funny you say that because I don't really see it that way, but yeah, I guess from like the literal like definition of what a record is, I guess it is. Yeah.
Yeah, your first full-blown debut record.
It doesn't feel any different than, doing promotion for the EP or anything like that. Other than like the fact that I'm probably more confident in the material on this go around. The first time was such a question mark,
Well, the first time was like literally being shot out of a cannon for you guys. 2019 was this massive kind of year for you. I remember just, somebody coming into my office and playing me when I'm gone and being like, what do you think of this band? And me being like, wow, that's a monster hit. Can I play it tomorrow? And you guys were literally kind of shot out of a cannon. And maybe people don't know, but you are a history making band because, independently, you released this self-titled EP and the band made history when you went to #1 on the rock charts, on the mainstream rock charts, being an unsigned band.
Yeah, that was
amazing.
It exceeded all of our expectations. But I will say my manager, I sat down with him on the 4th of July, I believe it was in 2018, and played him that song. And he said, that's a #1 rock song. So he knew, he had the vision, and, I guess it's, he made it all happen, He knew though. He definitely knew, which was cool.
Well, the mind-blowing thing for me too is then you guys came to our studios not long after that and sat down, and I saw the band perform this song, Stripped Down, and that really then seals, the deal. That sealed the deal for me because I was like, oh my gosh, we literally had to move the microphone away from your voice because, the band then can completely deliver. So, all right, so you're shot out of the cannon in 2019. You guys are getting ready to head, I believe, correct me if I'm incorrect, but it was Australia. Yep. To record the record, the full record. You have all this material, and then bam, the gate closes. The gate closes on the guys ready to roll.
Shut down in Australia, so to speak.
Yeah. So, and what does that do to you?
You know what? When it happened, it was honestly, that was a pretty scary time because it was very shortly after. So Sunday night we got locked down. I remember this is like mid-March. We got locked down. We were supposed to be doing a music video for the song Heartbreaker on Monday morning. So everything got locked down on Sunday. The music video shoot got canceled. Then we were supposed to leave for Australia maybe on Thursday. That was canceled, obviously. But, it was a scary time when that all went down. But now looking back, I think everybody in the band is grateful for being given a little bit more time to work on songs and work on the record, because it wouldn't have been, who knows, it might've been another EP had we not been given that time to work on tunes. But we definitely, there's a couple tunes that came straight out of quarantine that are really good. And I don't know if they would have even existed had we been on the road and been busy that whole time, so ultimately it sucks that we didn't get to go out on the road. And go to Australia and do a lot of those things and go to Japan for the first time. But we came out with a way better record. So it's not all bad, I guess.
Well, and what I love about the record is like a song like California Dreamin', which when we first got it, first single, there's kind of like, how do I say this properly? Almost like a light and a dark to some of the songs, which I think really connects with people because I'll take that song, for instance, and there's this totally kind of upbeat kind of vibe. And then there's sort of that, darkness, chasing a dream, maybe getting a little disappointed that I think people, especially now, can really relate to, because people have a sense of optimism, but then there's still a darkness that people are kind of emerging from a little bit.
And it's, you know, still kind of hanging over us now. We're not really certain this whole thing is over yet. We're hopeful that it is, but man, news media right now is not making me feel too confident, but I hope it is. We'll see. But yeah, I love, you know, playing sort of lyrical games like that, you know, with, you know, it's conversely to the music that's more rock and roll fun and happy. You have this sort of dark undertone to the lyrics. I think that's always a good little trick to insert there. But yeah, I definitely wanted to tell a little bit of a story about the California dream isn't all glitz and glam sometimes, and it can go horribly wrong. And I've said, you know, a lot. I know a lot more people that haven't made it and have moved back home to wherever they came from with their tail between their legs than, because most people give up, you know. You know, so yeah, we had to shed a little light on the dark corners of what California could be.
And I love the video. I love the
Yes,
video with the doors, you know,
yeah.
opening, and it, you know, it really, really tells the story of the song, and, you know, certainly gives people a flavor for what the band is like. So,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
wanted to throw a little arc in there for
yeah,
the girl and kind of showcase, like, you know, the the beauty of these California locations, but also like the darkness as well. And you know, there's a lot of dark corners, you know, especially in LA with Skid Row existing, and there's a lot of sketchy people in the entertainment industry. You know, those things they definitely exist.
yeah. And you guys nailed it. You nailed it. Well, you're basically, I mean, you're a West Coaster now, but you
Yeah,
were an East
sort of.
Coaster you were an East Coast guy growing up, right?
I was an East Coast guy last Tuesday when I was walking around New York City. So yeah, I'm always gonna be.
You were back on the East Coast last week?
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
was walking
wow.
around enjoying a beautiful day in the city, and man, it was awesome. But it's, again, like, it's also dark. Like, you can't help but walk around the city and it's pretty empty, and it's
Yeah, yeah,
weird. It's beautiful.
yeah.
I think a lot of the businesses there have done a great job opening up and creating these like safe outdoor spaces, but it's pretty empty, you know?
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah. I'm 9 miles away. Yeah. Nine
yeah, it's
miles away
scary.
from where I am right now. And yeah, it's definitely, when you go in, it's sort of like, you goodness, you
Have you
know,
not been in the city since?
I have been. I have
Okay.
been. And I was blown away that I could just drive down the street
Right?
with no problem whatsoever. I was like, this is crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. Um, so yeah, what does it feel like when you come back, you know, to the East Coast too?
I love it. I mean, I've always loved New York. I moved out here with the goal to like write my ticket back, because not having any money and living in New York City really sucks.
Yeah.
So LA is definitely an easier place to survive with not a lot of dough, but yeah, I've always wanted to move back to New York at some point too. That's been a goal. And Italy as well.
And Italy.
That's the other
New York and
goal.
Italy,
Yeah.
the two provinces. I want to talk to you too about songwriting,
Yeah.
because I think that the songwriting has really refined, you know, itself on this record for sure. And so when you're writing during pandemic times, um, does it take on a different feel to, did you refine some of the songs? Did you write some of them sort of, because, you know, it's really strange to write about experience in a
Yeah.
year where there's not really a whole lot of experience going on. You can tap into things that you did before, but sometimes it's really nice to have that fresh, you know, freshness in your mind and in your soul when you're writing a song. So was it a little bit different for you as a songwriter this past year?
It was definitely tough lyrically, just to write about, you know, a lot of times New York's a great example. Like, you could be walking around in a cafe and just have a random experience with someone or something, you know, having a drink somewhere or getting dinner or getting coffee, or even just, you know, when I walk around New York, I sometimes think about Pearl Jam's Even Flow, and I can see like Eddie Vedder almost seeing a homeless guy on the street sleeping on a newspaper, and bam, like, there's your visual lyric. it's very Springsteen too in that way. Like Springsteen likes to set the scene, so to speak, in his lyrics, and that can spark a whole song, you know.
Yeah, storytelling
Um,
is hard when you're not really living a story. It's very hard to
yeah,
storytell.
totally. And you know, when all those social interactions are stripped away from you, you're kind of left to pull from your past experiences and relationships and life. You know, writing about sex is always good. That never gets old. So yeah, those were sort of the things that we were pulling from, and you know, pulling from other people's experiences that you know and that you're close with also helps. They can help guide you, you know, and guide a story in a way if it's not your own. So that's kind of what I leaned into this whole time. But there were a lot of ideas already started and had direction, and yeah, like you said, they just needed some refining.
I love Tied Up. I think that's a kind of a perfect Dirty Honey song.
Yeah, very fun
Yeah,
song.
very, very fun. And that was what I was thinking of too, because I was like, when I was listening to it, I was like, God, it has to be hard to write these, kind of fun songs, at a time that maybe you're not really necessarily having a year of fun. Fun songs are easier to write, I would imagine, on the road, when you're when you're
Well,
really
funny,
having
funny you
fun.
say that. That's where that song came to be. I had that riff for a long time, just knew it was a really fun riff. And John, the guitar player, had the epiphany to make it this sort of big intro. And then I think we were in Jacksonville when we really played it together for the first time with everybody doing their thing on it. And we all kind of looked at each other like, okay, this one's pretty fun. Um, but yeah, you hit it on the head. Yeah, that one was written for sure on the road. And we played it a lot the last tour we were on. But again, that one also needed some refining. I mean, lyrically, I didn't really know what I was saying a lot on the road. Had an idea, but I was always kind of writing on stage, and we refined the chorus a bit too, and came up with the whole acapella thing at the end. So, um, you know, most of it, probably 80% of it was done on the road for sure.
Yeah, such a cool tune. And you guys are such an awesome live band. I mean,
Thank you.
every time that I've seen the band, it's just you guys are phenomenal. And the fan base. Let's talk about the fan base, the Beehive, and like the fan base is
Yeah.
really
We
getting
love the
crazy
Hive.
for you guys. You love the Hive. So talk to me about your connection with the fans and their connection with you and why it's so special, because certain bands, and I love to see newer bands have this great synergy with fans, and you guys are on that path, to have this loyal fan base.
Yeah, and I think it comes a lot from touring relentlessly and putting yourself out there after shows and shaking people's hands and saying thank you. And you know, I think we were also. It's really interesting when it goes from having to tell everybody to come out to a show to having to tell nobody and people still show up. That's like
Yeah.
a really special moment for any artist. And yeah, I think people just appreciate, you know, us giving up our time after a show and saying thank you. And that goes a really long way. And, you know, we try to keep the quality up on everything from the merch to the music, most importantly. And I think they trust that, you know, if we put something out, it's going to be pretty good. It's got to get through our checks, you know, before they even see it. So, um, you know, there's a trust there between both of us.
And I've seen you guys do it. I've seen you guys after set. People are looking to meet you guys, and you guys are hanging out at the merch table. I've seen John is very with the fans. He's like Mr.
Yeah.
Personality. He's got that big personality.
John's doing a lot. Yeah, John gets himself I won't say in trouble. John likes to have fun in
He's a
any
fun
way
guy.
that he
Oh, I
can.
can totally see that. I
Yep.
mean, I saw it at the PlayStation Theater last time I saw you guys. It was a dynamite set. The crowd was so into it. The New
That was
York
a
crowd was
fun
going
show.
crazy. That was a fun show with Alter Bridge and Skillet. You guys were just so on point. I walked in just as you were taking the stage, and it was packed. The
Yeah, it
place
was
was
fun.
packed. You couldn't move. It was awesome. Just
We
so
were
awesome.
sort of we were the beneficiaries of being the first band on a 3-band show where the headliners would kind of flip flop, and people would just show up for all three bands, and it was really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
They didn't.
yeah.
That's probably the first time I've really experienced that, which was awesome. So we were super grateful to be on that tour, and everybody in both bands was very cool with us and respectful, and we had a blast. So
And I love the guys in your band. I mean, they're just such a good group of guys. Did I read that Corey, did he have a mountain biking accident? Is he okay?
yeah,
Is he all right?
he's got a broken wrist right now. He'll be okay,
Oof.
but can't really play drums with a broken wrist. But
Oh no. Yeah,
he'll be all right.
I was saw that online and I'm like, no, no, no. But he's all
He's a
right.
tough kid. He's got the hockey spirit in him. I think he can power through it. He'll be fine.
Oh man. So I want to give you also give you like a couple of just like quick hit questions.
Sure.
That we can sort of, go through because I know you well enough to know some of the things that I think that you like musically.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so I'm going to give you, I know the bands that you're a fan of and stuff because we share a lot of the same tastes, in music, bands that we love. Yeah,
That's one
we're
of them.
both big Crows fans, Black Crows fans. Favorite Aerosmith record because I know Aerosmith was a big influence on you.
Yeah. Favorite Aerosmith record is probably Toys in the Attic. Yeah, I love that record. I love every song on that record. Even the sleeper one is the one at the end. You See Me Crying. It's
I love You See Me
huge,
Crying.
huge production on that song. He's got an orchestra and it's a great song, but it never. I think what happened was they re-released Dream On after Sweet Emotion and Walk This Way had success, and probably the ballad on that record didn't get any love because Dream On went so huge.
He's actually crooning on that song and I like love it. I love when
So
Tyler does
good.
that.
And Joe Perry has this really roomy guitar tone in the solo of that song that kind of became his thing forever. I just love it. The whole record though is awesome. I mean, Sweet Emotion is one of the coolest rock and roll songs ever by any band ever. Yeah, it's great. The whole thing's great.
All right, favorite Black Crowes song,
That
which
one's
I know is hard.
I love the Black Crowes. I love a lot of their catalog, but Twice as Hard for whatever reason has become that song. Just anytime it comes on, I'm like, hell yeah, I love that song.
Best tour, or I shouldn't say best. I'm sorry. Your favorite tour that you've been on, one that not necessarily because you like the artist the best, but one that you felt was the best for Dirty Honey, whether it was gaining new fans or having a great sound check every night, or just camaraderie with artists.
Favorite tour where we had to, I guess, favorite opening tour would probably be with Slash, just because we all love Slash and Miles, and that whole band is really cool. But we got to go to a lot of really cool places. So we played New York at Portchester, but we also got to play the Ryman in Nashville, which was awesome. We played Seattle for the first time, in San Francisco. So we really got to go to some great places. But those Slash and Miles Kennedy fans are a little bit deeper music fans than like your typical Guns fan. So they had a deep appreciation for us, and everybody was surprised. Like you don't usually expect to like the live band, and I think we go hand in hand with Slash's style pretty seamlessly. And we had a great night with him in Cleveland where we were backstage, and he just said the sweetest things to us out of nowhere, and that kept you high for like a week after. So,
Yeah, it's Slash.
yeah, he's the
It's
man.
Slash.
And he's the coolest guy ever.
He
He's the
is. Yeah,
sweetest guy
he
ever.
is.
So is Miles, and he's always been supportive too. But definitely everybody's favorite tour is for sure just being on your own tour with your own fans that are passionate to see you. It doesn't matter if there's 300 of them or 1,500 or 20,000, just fans that are passionate about you and know your stuff is always going to be the best situation. So
What's the band, or who's the band, I should say, that you listen to most in lockdown? Did you have sort of a go-to artist, even if they were off the beaten path, that was your lockdown artist this year?
um probably the Black Crowes, honestly. I've been for whatever reason I've been just loving their stuff. And then Aerosmith's always in there. Um, I loved the Black Keys last record. I thought that was a great sleeper record too. Marcus King has been coming up quite a bit, but the Black Crows are probably the ones that are just on the most.
Yeah.
Just throughout the year.
Drawing inspiration, drawing inspiration
I
band,
just
drawing inspiration.
They have a couple just amazing records.
I just like all of a sudden I have a spark where I'm like, you know what, tomorrow I think I'm going to play my morning song. I haven't played that in a long time.
Yeah,
It's one of my
that's
favorites.
a great one.
I love that. I love that.
It's a
Thank you
great
for that
rock and roll song, no
that
doubt.
spark. And give me like 5 words that you would
Mm-hmm.
kind of describe the Dirty Honey experience for someone.
5 words: sexy,
Mm-hmm.
soulful,
Definitely.
uh, bluesy, loud, um, sexy, soulful, bluesy.
You could say sexy twice actually.
Okay,
You know why?
that's
Because
great.
you're right. I think the songs there's definitely a sexiness to the songs.
Every
I
band I've
hear
ever
it.
liked had that.
Yeah.
You know, from Aerosmith to Zeppelin to the Stones to the Black Crowes to AC/DC, they all have these elements that are sexy, soulful. Those are the two big ones. It's got to have soul for sure. So if it doesn't have that, if you can't like get dig your nails in on that, then you're not quite there. And quite honestly, like I've said before too, I like singers that are soulful, and I don't care if that's Chris Robinson, Steven Tyler, or somebody like Adele. If they're emoting through their vocal performance, I'm really drawn to it. And I'm certainly not above a good pop song that Adele writes or whatever. She's killing. I went down a rabbit hole watching her sing something, and I was just like, oh my god, this girl's so good. But just emoting through the music, which is
Yeah.
really important when you're writing.
Yep.
That's everybody.
There's nothing like emotional singers singing emotional songs, it's an experience that we as, a listener um can't do without in music for sure.
Yeah, it just helps you connect with, just understanding how that person feels, or maybe you don't feel alone or something if you feel like that singer has felt the way you currently feel or have felt before or something. It's an important element that somehow got lost in like the Pro Tools era of
Yeah.
recording to me.
Yeah. Before I let you go too, speaking of that, I spoke to certain singers. I had Miles on this feature and I spoke to him about this topic, and Tim McElrath I just had on from Rise Against.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have you answer the same question I asked the two of them, because you are emotional singers and that your voice is that instrument. It's that muscle. And being in lockdown has to be kind of difficult. Are you singing around the house? How are you keeping the muscle flexed?
I do. So I have the instrumentals of the new record and the other record, and I put together like a set list of what we might be doing whenever we get to go back out on the road. And I just put the headphones on and I sing into here. I record it, run some compression through it, and listen back, make sure I don't suck. And yeah, I do that like 2 or 3 times a week, probably. I'm probably going to do it when we finish up here.
I love that.
And,
I love that. Because I wondered that, when you're home, you think, well, maybe resting the voice, but the voice you got to use, like a muscle, like
yeah, you do.
Like you're a Olympic runner, and you can't stop moving your legs.
They say either use it or lose it. And
yeah,
I've been pretty diligent too about taking a walk every night out. The water is, I don't know, maybe quarter mile away from where I am right now, and I like to walk to the water and do my vocal warm-ups and come back and sing, and then yeah, that's how I just gotta make sure I'm ready to go whenever they give us the green light.
We are so ready for you. I
so
love
ready.
you. I am so happy that we have a new Dirty Honey record. It's just perfect.
So have you heard the whole record?
I have.
Oh, you have? Sick.
Yeah, I have. I
I'll have
have.
to send you a vinyl
I would
when
love
we get
a
on.
vinyl. I would love, love, love
I'll
a
get you one.
vinyl. And I think as blown away as people were in 2019 when they heard you guys, I think this is going to floor them. I think they're going to sort of be left in the dust like,
I
holy
think,
crap.
yeah, I think we made a pretty damn good body of work. We're really proud of it. So thank you for the support,
Phenomenal.
obviously, from day
Phenomenal.
one.
Marc, always a pleasure to see you. Even if we have to hang out via the computer, I'll take it. I'll take what I
All
can
good.
get.
Me too.
And
Me
I can't
too.
wait to see you in person. And say hi to your dad too for me.
I will.
Hi, Dad.
He always mentions seeing you on Facebook or whatever, and all the stuff that DHA does for dogs, and he loves that.
Oh, he's
And I
so.
always check in with the boys in the morning when they go live on Instagram.
I know. I love that. You're on the Jolt all the time.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see. Will I see Dad at a show when I come out to a show? If he will he come out to the
I'll get him
Northeast?
down to the Prue if we're still doing that
Yeah,
show.
absolutely. That would be amazing. I want to see Papa out there.
He'll bring the pop.
I love the pops, and I love you. Thank you so much for reconnecting with me again today. And the new record is dynamite.
Thanks, TC.
DHA's Reconnect with Rockers is powered by Karis Lock Company, your full-service locksmith, and Dover Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on Route 46 in Rockaway. Online at doverdodge.com.